Throughout the week, I meet a lot of great people from across the country who are studying for their real estate exam. And in the course of helping them, I get a lot of great questions. And I want to take the time to share the 10 best questions I got throughout the week. This is a great one to go over. I get asked about this one all the time. Let's review. Ralph sold his house to Oscar, who did not record the deed, but took residency there. Ralph then sold the same property to Larry, who reviewed the county recorder's records, but did not examine the property. Ralph gave Larry a deed, which Larry recorded. Which of the following would be true concerning title to the property? A. Larry has recourse against Oscar for failure to record. B. Larry now owns the property because he recorded his deed first. C. Larry and Oscar are co-owners of the property. D. Oscar maintains title. Let me give you 5 seconds to review this. Okay, let's take a look at the answer. The answer is D. Oscar maintains title. The question I always get is that if Larry was the one to record this deed, shouldn't he be the new owner? Well, here's the explanation. Recording and possession function the same way. Therefore, the one who takes that action first with his recording or possession gets title. Oscar had possession before Larry recorded. Therefore, Oscar maintains title. Let's take a look at the next question. Which of the following defines a mortgage loan? A. A financial obligation, which is unsecured but is used by a building. B. A loan collateralized with real estate. C. A promissory note that is unpaid. D. An instrument that is used only in the exchange of real property. The answer is B. A loan collateralized with real estate. If you looked at one of my other videos, you will know mortgage is actually Latin for death pledge. It's a pledge. You are pledging your real estate. When this comes up, I like to transition to talk about mortgagor and mortgagee. People often get confused because they talk about the OREE rule. OR is the giver, EE receives. So why is the mortgagor the borrower and the mortgagee the bank when the bank's giving money? Well, what you have to remember is the mortgagor is giving a pledge. OR and EE is a suffix. There's no exception to the rules. It's an English language. You just have to remember what is being given and what is being received. And with the OREE rule, the mortgagor is the borrower as they are giving a pledge, that promissory note. The mortgagee is the lender as they are receiving that property as the pledge. By law, which of the following must be included in a mortgage? A. A rescission clause. B. A legal description of the property. C. The amortization schedule. D. The signatures of the mortgagee, the mortgagor, and the maker of the instrument. The answer is B. A legal description. A legal description is included in all mortgage instruments. The amortization schedule is not required, and it is the mortgagor and not the mortgagee who signs the mortgage instrument. In case you're wondering, a legal description basically describes where the property is. Next question. An easement on real estate would terminate if the holder of the dominant tenement recorded A. Notice of non-responsibility. B. Deed of reconveyance. C. Lease pendants. And D. Quitclaim deed. And the answer is D. Quitclaim deed. The easement can be terminated by the dominant tenement if they record a quitclaim deed. The dominant tenement benefits from the easement. The servient tenement is burdened by it. Just think of what that word dominant means. It means they are control. Thus, they have the right to end the easement. A quitclaim deed is the easiest way to transfer rights. You just sign something over, there it is. And a servient tenement can't terminate everything because they're the one being burdened by it. So if they could terminate it, they would do it at any time. It's the dominant tenement that has that right to do it. And the way they would do it is by signing a quitclaim deed. An actual agency relationship that arises by the actions of the parties rather than by expressed written agreement is called A. General agency, B. Special agency, C. Ostensible implied agency, or D. Universal agency. And the answer is C. Ostensible implied agency. When looking at this question, one of the first things that should be obvious to you is that rule of one of these kids doing their own thing. And what I mean by that is general agency, special agency, universal agency all have to do with scope of responsibility and liability. Ostensible implied agency does not have to do with that. That has to do with how an agency is formed, not with the level of responsibility once the agency was formed. Let's go over what each of these mean. In an ostensible implied agency, it is based on the actions of the parties which imply that they have mutually consented to an agency relationship. For example, an owner knows a broker is showing the owner's vacant lot to prospective buyers without authority to do so. Unless the owner takes steps to stop such unauthorized showing, the law considers that third party to have cause to believe the broker is the owner's agent. In other words, the owner was fully aware of what the agent was doing and accepted their actions and did nothing to stop it, therefore an agency was formed. Let's look at the other three types of agencies. A universal agent is one who has been given full power to act on behalf of persons or business. A general agent is authorized by the principal to perform any and all acts associated with the ongoing operation of the job or business. A real estate licensee acting in the capacity of a property manager is a general agent to the owner. A special agent is one who has limited authority granted to him or her through a principal. The relationship with a principal is not expected to be continuous. The listing contract creates a special agency relationship with the seller. The authority is limited to the duties given during the listing contract, and the relationship ends when the terms of the contract has been fulfilled. Which of the following loans would be most likely to qualify for FHA insurance? A. A loan to buy a small business. B. A loan to buy farm equipment. C. A loan to purchase a farm. D. A loan to purchase 1 to 4 units of residential rental property. And the answer is D. A loan to purchase 1 to 4 units of residential rental property. Federal Housing Administration, FHA, insures lenders against loss in the event of default. This applies to 1 to 4 units of residential property to live in or can be used for rental purposes. It is not meant to insure loans to buy a stadium or a big commercial property. None of the following would automatically terminate an offer to buy real property except A. An inquiry by the offeree as to whether the offeror will accept different terms. B. Rejection by the offeror. C. Revocation of the offer by the offeree. D. Rejection by the offer by the offeree. And the answer is D. Rejection of the offer by the offeree. Rejection of the offer by the offeree terminates an offer. Remember, the offeror is the one giving an offer. The offeree is the one receiving an offer. Therefore, the one who's receiving it has the right to reject it. Just remember that OREE rule. OR is give or EE receives. I get a lot of questions on this one. First thing people think is, ugh, I have to read. That sucks. I hate reading. But if you know what to look for, it's really easy. So let's go through it. Broker Kim took a 90-day exclusive agency listing to sell a property that was owned by Joe. After 30 days, Kim had not found a buyer. So Joe sent him a certified mail letter canceling the listing. 1 week later, Joe listed the property with several brokers using open listings. 2 weeks later, one of the brokers who had an open listing on the property found a new buyer for the property. In this situation, Joe most likely A. did not have the right to give open listing to other brokers, B. had a right to relist the property and also the right to cancel Kim's listing, and his notice of cancellation would accomplish this without possible liability to Joe, C. owes commission to the selling broker only, D. is liable for payment of commission to Kim as well as the selling broker. And the answer is D, is liable for payment of commission to Kim as well as the selling broker. If two listings are signed and one is an exclusive listing, the seller may be liable for two commissions. You see, if it was all open listings, he would just owe the commission to the one who brought the buyer. But since one of them is exclusive listing, Kim gets paid. An agency relationship may be created by A. agreement, B. ratification, C. estoppel, or D. all of the above. And the answer is D. all of the above. Most agency relationships are created by written agreement. An agency relationship can also be created by ratification, which is consenting to the acts of the agent, and estoppel, which is the principle that precludes a person from asserting something contrary to what is applied by a previous action. An estate in real property is held by which of the following? A. a life tenant, B. a trustee, C. a beneficiary, or D. none of the above is correct. And the answer is A. a life tenant. A life tenant in legal terms is an estate in real property that ends at death when ownership of property may revert to the original owner or it may pass to another person. The owner of a life estate is called a life tenant. Let me make it simple. This is the only situation where somebody's living in a property. A trustee is a neutral third party that functions in a trust deed relationship to hold legal title to a property, right to sell. A beneficiary is traditionally a lender. The only one who actually is living in the property and has an estate in the property is a life tenant. A life tenant occurs in a life estate, which is a type of estate that is dependent on the life of another. Well, that is my 10 questions of the week that I wanted to go over. Next week, we'll go over some others. If you have some questions that you want me to go over, please send them to me. I'll be happy to do it. And of course, if you have any comments or questions or concerns about the information I went over today, please let me know. I'm always looking to improve and be able to explain things and simplify things a little better so you all can pass the real estate exam and get your career off the ground. This is Joe from Prep Agent.